What's up, soccer fans? Mike Guglielmi, Sons of a Pitch Soccer Central, here to bring you Week 12 MLS Picks and Predictions, your betting tips for all of the games. Midweek on Wednesday, as well as coming up this weekend, coming at you right after the intro. What's up, everybody? Hope you had a great week like I did last week. 8 out of 14 correct. That is 57%. You can't complain at 57%. So, with that being said, guys, smash that like button down below so more people can watch these picks and predictions like you. Let's get after it. Let's make some money with our MLS picks and predictions. Lots of midweek games this week, so be wary. Check those lineups before you make your picks, due to all the squad rotation that might happen. So, first game up to talk about, DC United against New York City at Audi Field in DC. DC United comes in at plus 205, the draw at plus 275, and NYCFC at plus 125 as the favorites on the road. I got to go with NYCFC here. I'm going to keep my my explanation short because we have about 20-something games to get through here. So, NYCFC is better than Miami. Miami drew at DC last week. I've got NYCFC at plus 125. Next up, Philadelphia Union against Miami. Philly comes in at minus 245 at home, plus 380 for the draw, and Miami comes in at a whopping plus 700. Maybe throw a few bucks at Miami just for fun, just because it's worth a shot at those kind of odds. But Philly at minus 245 is my pick. That's the smart pick as well. The Union are a better team than Miami, especially in Philadelphia. Going with the Union there. Next up, Red Bulls hosting Chicago Fire. Red Bulls at minus 190. The draw at plus 310. Chicago Fire at plus 600. The Fire have been struggling recently. The Red Bulls starting to turn the corner. They started out the season real hot. Now they've kind of slowed down a little bit. Now they're starting to pick back up. My pick, the Red Bulls minus 190 to get the victory at home. Minnesota United hosting LA Galaxy. Minnesota coming off a rough loss 3-1 last week to Seattle. LA Galaxy hasn't impressed me the last couple of weeks. I'm going with the draw. Plus 260 odds for the draw. Minnesota comes in at plus 140 if you're interested in taking them at home. And the Galaxy at plus 185. But because that spread is so even, and I think both teams are very similar, I'm going to go with the draw at plus 260. Next, Houston and Seattle. Houston comes in at plus 140 favorites. The draw at plus 250 and the Sounders at plus 200. Anytime the Sounders are plus 200 or higher, it's hard not to pick them. But because they're still coming off that CCL championship and that run, I'm going to go with the draw in this matchup. I just have a feeling about this one. I'm going with the draw at plus 250. Next up, Sporting Kansas City and Colorado. SKC at home plus 180. Rapids on the road are favorites at plus 160. And the draw at plus 235. SKC is a tire fire right now. I'm going with the Rapids on the road to pull off the semi-upset, even though technically they're considered favorites at plus 160, but you're still getting plus odds. So I'm taking the Rapids at plus 160. Next up, Vancouver against Dallas. Vancouver at plus 175, draw at plus 240, and Dallas, the favorites, at plus 160. Very similar story here as the last matchup. I'm going with FC Dallas on the road. Dallas is a much better team than Vancouver. Vancouver couldn't build off that win over TFC a couple of weeks ago, so I'm going Dallas, plus 160 as my pick. LAFC against Austin FC. This one, we've got LAFC at home against Austin, who struggles on the road. LAFC is a minus 190 favorite. The draw at plus 350, and Austin at plus 500. LAFC coming off that disappointing the road game in their last match out, but it's different at the bank. I'm going LAFC minus 190 in that one. All right, next we've got Nashville versus Montreal. Nashville at minus 110. Montreal comes in at plus 330. And the draw at plus 250. Montreal is in fuego right now. This team is on fire. They're hitting on all cylinders. I want to go with Montreal. But Nashville's a very hard place to play at Geodis Park. They're still riding that new stadium high. I got to go with Nashville at minus 110 in that matchup. My pick, Nashville over Montreal. All right, lastly, for the midweek games, we have San Jose against Portland. San Jose comes in at double your money, plus 100, draws at plus 280, and the Timbers at plus 255, excuse me. This one, the Quakes, they seem to always find a way to get a comeback or a draw or a victory at home. Timbers, up and down. They're coming off that huge victory last week, 7-2. Normally, I factor form in a lot into my picks. However, with this one, sometimes when you win too big, sometimes I think that can hurt you a little bit. And my thing is, I'm just going off a hunch here. I have a feeling that Portland is going to come out and they're going to just poop the bed. It's not going to be pretty. See, San Jose gets the victory at double your money plus 100. All right, before we move to the full week games, remember, I always put my spreadsheets up at the end. All-Star members, guys, if you're not an All-Star member yet, what the hell are you waiting for? I had looked up, I'm looking into some baseball betting right now as well due to the volume of games and an opportunity to win some money there. And in baseball, these handicappers will sell 10, 12 games, a daily set of picks, hitting at 54, 55%, which is a two-way line. I average 50% on a three-way line, and they're selling for $40 for a day. I'm giving you an All-Star membership for $9.99 a month. Guys, join as a member right now. Join as an All-Star. You're going to get access to my one video a week that gives you my over-under picks, my parlay picks, and my prop bet picks as a player to score for every single game in MLS. Last week, you thought 57% was good on the picks and predictions on the straight upside. Well, on over-unders, we hit 68% last week. 68%. That's insanity. You can't beat it. $9.99 a month. I'm done selling this stuff. If you want to make some money, get on it. Join as an All-Star today. It's cheap. It's easy money. Get into it. All right. Back to the games. Going to Saturday, we've got Columbus and LAFC. Columbus Crew at home, plus 140. The draw at plus 240. And LAFC at plus 195. The Crew at home, decent. LAFC on the road, decent. Therefore, I'm going with the draw. Plus 240, I see a pretty even matchup here due to LAFC being on the road. I'm going to go with the draw here, plus 240 odds. Next up, DC United against Toronto, hosting Toronto. Toronto's a mess. DC comes in at minus 175. Easy win. Draws plus 340. Toronto's plus 425. Forget about it. DC wins this one easily, minus 175. Cincinnati and the Revs. Cincinnati not getting any respect from the odds makers after their little 3-game run. Plus 200 odds, dogs at home against the Revs. The Revs going to Cincinnati come in at plus 130. The draw at plus 255. There's a reason why Cincinnati's not getting the respect, because they beat Toronto twice. They're beating Miami. They're beating Toronto. Those are teams that are not any good right now. The Revs, they're not so great, but they did look good in their game against Atlanta last week. My pick, the Revs, plus 130 on the road to get the victory. All right, Nashville, Atlanta United. Nashville at home in that pseudo-rivalry that's building. Nashville plus 100, the draw at plus 240, and Atlanta at plus 295. Atlanta's road form, not good. The Ben's, different story. But in Nashville, I'm going with Nashville SC plus 100 for the victory, especially with all those injuries that Atlanta has right now. Next up, Montreal Impact, Real Salt Lake. Montreal at home, minus 130. The draw at plus 265, and RSL at plus 360. Montreal all day long. They're on fire. I know I didn't pick them in the midweek, but I'm picking them here on the weekend. They get it done against RSL, no problem. Next up, Charlotte, Vancouver Whitecaps. Charlotte, minus 120. The draw at plus 280. Vancouver, plus 310. An expansion team? And I got to go with them. Minus 120. Vancouver just is a mess. They're just not a good team. Charlotte, not a great team either, but they ride that home crowd really, really well. And I think they get it done against Vancouver. I've got them. Minus 120 odds. Next up, Miami against New York Red Bulls. Miami at home, plus 280. The draw at plus 245, and the Red Bulls on the road at plus 100. I'm going with the draw in this matchup. I think you're going to see Miami come out strong. in this matchup being at home. And then the Red Bulls, they got Lewis Morgan, Red Bulls former Miami man. I'm going with the draw in this matchup, plus 245. FC Dallas against Minnesota. FC Dallas at home, minus 140 odds. Draw, plus 295. Minnesota, plus 370. Minnesota has not impressed lately. Dallas has. Going with the form here, going with the home team, minus 140 picks. All right, before we get to these last 5 or 6 games here on the weekend, I'm only giving a short analysis here, guys. If you want good analysis, you have questions, you want a bettor on your side that you can just email and talk to at any time, again, that All-Star membership. All-Star members have access to me to say, hey, what about this game? How do you feel about this? What are your thoughts here? Why? And I'll get back to you. So if you want more in-depth analysis, join as an All-Star member, $9.99, and get on with it. Colorado Rapids, Seattle Sounders. This one, the Rapids at minus 130, the draw plus 275, and the Sounders at plus 360. Hoo boy, this is an interesting game. I could see Seattle swinging an upset here very easily, especially at plus 360 odds. That's big. But I'm going to go with the draw in this matchup just because Colorado's form lately has been decent over the last couple of games. So my pick in that one is a draw. San Jose against Sporting Kansas City. San Jose at plus 100. Draw at plus 260. SKC on the road at plus 260. SKC is a bad team at home this year. They're even worse on the road. I'm going the Quakes plus 100. Austin FC against Orlando City. Austin comes in at plus 110. The draw at plus 250. Orlando City at plus 240. Austin at home against a weak Orlando side. I'm going Austin plus 110 odds for the victory there. Colorado against Seattle, we already talked about. LA Galaxy and Houston. Man, the Galaxy, they're up and down, man. You don't know what team's going to show up for the Galaxy. Are they the team that's going to get blown out by Dallas 3-1? Or is it going to be the team that, that shows up and gets a nice 1-0 victory or a 2-0 victory over a decent side? Houston, good side, but on the road, not so much. I got to go with the Galaxy here. Kind of a wing and a prayer with the Galaxy lately. You don't know which side's going to show up, but I'm going with the Galaxy minus 145 in this matchup. All right, last game of the weekend, Portland Timbers, Philadelphia Union. Timbers at home, plus 135 odds. The draw at plus 235. Union plus 205 on the road. This one is an interesting game to me. Portland, they're a good team. Philly, a really good team. It's in Portland at Providence Park. That always swings things a little bit. I want to go Philly here, but I'm going to go with the draw instead. Plus 235. I see the draw between Philly at Portland. All right, there you go. Those are the picks. Smash that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell if you're new here. And we'll see you guys real soon for a live stream reaction or our next episodes. Have a good one. Good luck with your bets. Putting up the picks now. Peace.